My name is Rhapsody, and welcome to Wildermyth. Wildermyth is I've been describing it as a tactical turn-based, party-based RPG that is heavily revolving around the evolving narrative of your world and characters. It's hard to describe because a lot of the things that I mentioned this in the Take a Peek as well. This is a game that I've done a Take a Peek on. If you're looking for that, hey, it's going to be linked in the description down below. There's a lot of tutorializing in that, as well as a really good way to introduce yourself to the game. But if you haven't got 3 hours, you'll be able to understand the game as we start playing it. It tutorializes itself quite effectively as well. But it's a game that I've been describing that I have a little bit of difficulty describing because a lot of the things that the game executes upon flawlessly in my experience so far are things that other games claim to do and don't necessarily do. Like, oh, the world reacts to you. A lot of the time when a game is sold on those terms, it doesn't, Molyneux. So it actually does in this game, though. The evolving story of this game is the heavy focus. We're going to be doing some voice acting and stuff like that as well. I'm probably going to be pulling names and such from chat also. And from the fourth wall tier, for the people that I'm going to be playing in the actual individual missions themselves. For the moment, though, let's launch ourselves into a new story. It does require that I begin the tutorial, the Age of Ulstryx, which is part of the content that we started covering. We'll get to see, specifically started covering in the Take a Peek. We'll get to see not only the end of it here, but we'll also get to see how it varies between runs. Also, the Age of Ulstryx, a 3-chapter story that is geared towards new players. Face off against the implacable Gorgon leader, Ulstryx. Main enemies, the Gorgons. I'm also going to set myself up on the standard difficulty. I could probably try and go into Tragic Hero and make it harder on myself. Go for more deaths. You also have a option menu here to be able to change overland campaign difficulty as well as combat campaign difficulty. I do like that. Difficulty sliders that adjust for multiple different areas of gameplay and gameplay loops. And specifically the fact that there's a developer's note that says, please let us know what options you'd like to see here is even more encouraging. Tragic Hero is very hard. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to Adventurer. If we want to turn it up later, I'll look at turning it up later. Carved in stone, one save file only, every decision permanent, no retrying after game over. I will turn Carved in stone on though, because I do like the idea of the feeling of permanence to every action. So this will sit. Pick mods. It's got mod support already out the gate, but don't need to do that. Let's launch in. Okay. Adina, Sloke, and Pneumoma. Sorry. Got a future warrior, future hunter, future mystic, a hot-headed greed wagon, decisive loner, and a cowardly greed wagon. I mean, I kind of like the idea of going all cowardly. Although a decisive loner and a hunter actually also kind of makes a little bit of sense, you know? I do want to see what the breadth of things I can get with rerolls are. Compassionate romantic. Huver. Oh man, I gotta keep you. A hot-headed goofball in Mactus. And decisive greed wagon in Gragmar. I'm gonna reroll Mactus here. Hot-headed poet? For a hunter? No. Decisive hothead also no. Poetical romantic. I could just make everyone in the party romantic and just stroll around as a as a triad. As a thruple. I'm kind of interested in the idea. We've got a compassionate romantic, a poetical romantic, and a goofish romantic. It's a group of bards. Yeah, it's a group of bards by any other name here. Decisive peacemaker in... Okay, that seems like it's got some good characterization to it. I like it. And goofish loner. You know what? That's our party right there. That's them. So I can already inspect them, and I do already have the ability to rename them as well, so I will be doing so. All right, we have the names for these characters. Our first name for our first character, the compassionate romantic farmer, who is a future warrior, is Eloise. And I'm just giving them last names as well. Your last name is Wherewithal. Eloise Wherewithal. Is every character just defaulting to attracted to the opposite of their body type? Is that what the game is doing? Like across the board? Yeah, it appears to be. Okay. We're an all-gay party. Every character is straight by default? Okay. All-gay party. Art de Fin. Art de Fin. You will be Kamaru, and you are a decisive peacemaker. Can someone type a an E with a grave, please? Or an E with an accent, so that I can just jump that on in here? Unfortunately, I don't remember the alt code for it. Appreciate it. What accent? That's right, there's a lot of accents that can be above an E. Oh, wait. What accent? Yeah, I'll use the second one, because... Kimaru Rebuke. Kimaru Rebuke. Love it. Next on Kodor Noble is a goofish loner. And you are goofish loner. You have earned your silly pseudonym. And that's misspelled. Wait, did I mess it up somehow? It looks wrong to me still. Man, this is a word that always looks wrong to me. How do you pronounce that in English? I've been pronouncing it as A. I easily could be wrong. It is how I am going to be carrying it through, however. Okay. Now with our characters set, it's time to start. This book. There's room in it for another story. It's cold. I'm stuck here. All right, we're gonna have to start giving our character canon voices. For the characters in the main party, it would be nice if their voices were things that were closer to my wheelhouse, just so that I have the ability to perform them consistently. The voices for each character may evolve. It's possible. This is... I think I will start out with Silly being Trant. It seems fitting. Why not scribble in a book anyway? No one's going to read it. That'll make this the beginning. Here in my yondering country, something in the woods is very strange. We see time passing. Tugged along by the gentle desire to see friends, a young woman named Eloise takes the seasonal road to the town of Elindebron. I wonder how many of these soft-glancing town ladies remember me. Well, I guess I'll just have to do something memorable this time. Breeze is light that day. Birds are timid. In fact, the whole world is taking a breath. ready to leap into the sea. I'm there already, huh? Here's the hard part. Getting Kamaru out of the house. I'm sure there'll be some broken-winged bird that man's decided to care for. And that'll be... Hang on. That's smoke. Fluttering flames roost among far-off rooftops. Eloise hurries towards town, thinking of Kamaru, a young man whom she's known since girlhood. Watch me worry and he's fine. He must have tried to cook breakfast again. I can't really leave him alone, can I? So, Eloise, you're a romantic, are you not? Let's get you to play into your character. Kamaru, you're not stuck, are you? Don't be dead. Didn't you say the party was all gay? Okay, I think I have created a... I think I may have created a pan-romantic lesbian? I guess? Because they don't really decipher between romantic attraction and sexual attraction. It's just is attracted to. Heroes can do a single move which takes one action or a double move which takes both actions. All heroes get to take their turn in any order, and then all enemies will take their turns. I know for a fact that I can just set myself up to set out the fires here, having done so in the Take a Peek. So I'm just moving up to them and then activating one of the activatables down here, which are contextual based on your location and character. Eloise Wherewithal gets closer to the door, opens it, and we discover inside his home standing. It's all right. Breathe, Eloise. Kamaru, are you hurt? Is there a reason this door is locked? Eloise doesn't know. Why is no one... The door unlocks. Kamaru shoves it open. Oh, yeah, fire? I know, I'm sorry. Get inside quickly. Whoop. Your bow. Yeah, says sings in the streets, see. Like, monsters. I don't know. That was bad. I don't know. I got one trapped behind the house. Staying in here, it isn't really an option. Right, so I've got some tools around. You can always be, you've always been strong. So I'm thinking, together, we can at least drive it off. Together? Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to keep this creature at an arm's length. If it breaks stones, it'll break bones. This is for cooking. Why did I grab this? Let's go for the pickaxe this time. We took the frying pan previous. Is there any reason I would go with a different option here, maybe? Nah, axe. You know, in case we... Don't worry, Eloise. I'll be right here. Open the door when you're ready. All right, let me just stand right in front of you. We now have a row. A foe card has spawned. Hooves thrown sloppily around beneath it. It runs staggering, bellowing its agony. Let's get you up to the front. Kamaru, you up next. Let's also just quickly check the character's boards a little bit here, because I think you already have something. There you've got a crush on Kamaru. Your passion for Kamaru gives you +1 damage against enemies who attacked Kamaru until the end of mission. Nice. Wait, does Kamaru have one of those as well? I think Kamaru has one of those as well. Crush. Yep. Same in the other direction as well. That looks pretty good for 2 characters there. Okay. Let's get you to wait. And then have Eloise open... Wait. Whoops. Wait another turn? Eloise. You should open the door. Why are you not open? Eloise. Eloise? Can she not? That's not... I just woke up. I literally just woke up 2 seconds ago, chat. That's what's happened there. I've a reason, and it's a good reason, and the reason is not that I'm just a bit dumb sometimes. Everyone is. Sometimes. All right, let's get ourselves into a better position. Something a little bit more defensible. All right, walling. You can see the symbol demonstrates reduced damage. If you stand adjacent to an ally, you will wall with them. Walling reduces incoming damage by 1 and does not stack. So it's a straight up damage reduction. Let's get Kimaru just to take a long range shot at that bad boy. Good damage, Kimaru. And in fact, I'm just going to wait. Come closer. On your head be it. Kimaru, kill him. Get him. That's our victory. Experience was split equally among both the characters. Eloise Wherewithal is now a Greenhorn warrior. She has grown stronger, battle-hardy, enduring with a natural aptitude for battle. They've developed powerful techniques for close combat. We have the options. Backslam. As a swift action, every other turn, Eloise knocks an enemy up to 3 tiles away, dealing 1 damage. 1 damage for each armor Eloise has. There's also Sentinel, replaces Guardian. The warrior leaps up to 2 tiles in order to intercept a foe who passes nearby, performing a reaction strike. And then another active in Raider. As a swift action, Eloise can start a fire on an empty tile or break a piece of adjacent scenery, dealing 1 damage to all foes adjacent to the scenery. 1 damage to all foes is it's quite low. It's pretty low. I do want to go Sentinel. I do. Reaction attacks are just nice. Kimaru has also grown stronger. Hunters like Kimaru's thrive in the wild, surviving through stealth and peerless archery. They master their surroundings and bring down large quarry. Piercing shots mean Kimaru's range attacks have +1 pierce, so they will pierce through 1 more target. Or, wait, does +1 pierce mean they will do damage through an armor or damage reduction, or that it pierces through a target, as in hits a target behind them? Through 1 armor? Okay. Well, it's through 1 armor. That's cool too. Crippling Strikes, passive. Kimaru's attacks apply to hobbled to the enemy, which I imagine is a weakened effect of some kind. Ember Arrows, when standing by a blaze, Kimaru's ranged attacks have +0 damage, +1 shred, and start fires. And fires can't spread onto him. Yo! That's kind of cool. Position our archer to be next to a fire and just throwing damage down the line? Maybe. Baby. I think I'm going to do that. Snakestone Scarf also gives +5 dodge. Eloise is the person who's going to be most often attacked, being in the front line, being a warrior. I could salvage it for fabric, which I could then use to try and craft other things in the future, different augments. I'm just going to accept the early ones, though. Whew. Did it get you? Or some bandages inside? Oh, you can really fight, Eloise. The creature's death is quiet. It seems to slip from life in a few stunned, hazy blinks. They'll spend a piece of the day getting the flames under control. The damage isn't as bad as it could have been. Townsfolk emerge from hiding to fight fires and clear debris. Some full of curiosity, others visibly haunted by what they've seen. Silly could still be in trouble. Sorry, the timing's bad, but... Come on, let's keep our word. Is that Ruin Tower by now? It's a long way. Can we leave this town a mess? Others will take care of it, but Silly's been waiting for us. What happened today could be happening everywhere, couldn't it? Something about that tower is just stuck in my mind. It's like when you get apple skin in your teeth. Is it really? Huh? Yeah. Anyway, I just think, well, we said we'd meet him, and we should. The Tower of the Hills. You've been there, right? Yeah, once. Actually, looking at the tracks, they come and they go in that direction. Eloise and Kimaru follow the pounded path of monstrous feet, hoping for the best and dreading every other possibility. Just be breathing okay. So we can all yell and go home. Let him be alive. Alive and unhurt. All the rivals? We did all the rivals in the Take a Peek, though. I think we should do some friendship. I think we're a clique. I think we're all in. We're in like Flynn with one another. I think we're all simpatico, so to speak. A wordless while passes between them, but the quiet only heightens their worry. You've known Silly for longer than I have. He's pretty capable, I feel like. Oh, yeah. Silly's a little broody sometimes. But he doesn't often disappoint me, you know. Weird things do tend to happen around him. But I'd say he's probably up there now, figuring things out. Scouting! In order to find sites in the wilderness, heroes must scout the land, which takes time. Click an unscouted tile to show the scout action. We'll click this unscouted tile in the brisk maple timbers. And then, scout action down on the bottom here. Send a party to scout the action. We only have 2 people in our company at the moment, so we will send both of them. We're seeing an average between their day's travel time. It also looks like it's an average between the time to complete as well. But here is our overworld. Here is our strategy map that will actually feel a lot more like a 4X than it looks like it possibly could. That's not to say will feel like a 4X, but more like it than you would otherwise think. The previous night, the tower where Silly had arranged to meet Eloise and Kamaru is a place he'd often used to escape to as a boy. Getting kind of like a Will from Stranger Things vibes of like going to your treehouse and accidentally unleashing hell. He knows its rooms and floors so well, he could survive being chased through them. What was your voice again? Oh, I know your voice again. And now I wait, I suppose. Dust gets deep as rain puddles in here. Alive is alive until that beast breaks through. You're not so bad, are you, beast? At least you're not loud. It's a picturesque old tower, perfect for a plot twist. Maybe the boast of some long-dead despot whose name has sunk in the river. But as the old will tell you, precious things go overlooked in a ruin. When that happened in the Take a Peek, things that should not be forgotten were forgotten, was the feeling I got. What lodges amid the bones of failure is often the dream that drove it. That book! Why have I never... Just bad sound for it. Just that's not threatening. That sounds like a duck and a frog at the same time in a choir. Easy there. I guess you're wondering why I'm talking to myself, huh, beast? I'm also wondering. Silly bends to pull it loose. The book's heavier than its slender spine suggests. Look at all of this. It's full of strange stories, the folklore of folk long forgotten. The candlelight leaping strikes no significant bell. It's the weird story of a child watching a candlelight against the ceiling and wishing himself through it to a far realm without grown-ups. Did you hear Hidden Fish? Has nothing to do with fish. It's the tale of a girl burned to glass by the lightning and buried. She wakes in the darkness, a fresh young worm, and begins her eternal swim through the earth. The Ellenbrand girl, tells of a blight-skinned woman who drew things so feelingly that they became true. And she drew circles and circles in a book, and eventually fell through. We are being infused with the power of the book. Silly reaches the last word of the final tall tale. A few blank pages are left. This book. Something in him feels like it's coming loose, but he can't tell exactly what. There's room in it for another story. That also reminds me, there and back again. And then also Lord of the Rings. And there's room in it for another story, Sam. It's called I'm Stuck Here. That'll make this the beginning. Here, in my yondering country. That's how the smoke story began. That'll make this the beginning of the story. Here, in my yondering country. Silly writes, words are ready. Omens have formed in the fabric of everything, and he's beginning to recognize them now. Some are just misgivings. They've crept through his body like the sourceless aches one wakes with. Others are more substantial. Now they seem lightning plain, a promise of thunder. For in the wild black woods where birds once belled, a hateful silence churns. Pain lights Silly's head and subsides. I made it to morning! He lowers his bleary eyes. His story lies before him in luminous script. Empty pages have sprouted behind it. Why do I feel powerful? He pulls a spoon from his pocket, or he slides a branch from the rubble. It's sturdy and has a palm-living twist. Spoon. We're going spoon this time. Open wide, beast. I'm getting out of here. Focards, Rager. It charges without seeing, misshapen tusks swinging wildly. Make our way out here. Interfusion. You can interfuse with an object and then use that object to attack. So we can see here a diagram of it. Our character interfuses an object in the world, and then that object in the world attacks an enemy. Use an interfuse to connect with fire or the scenery, and then different types of scenery give different effects and abilities. Many of these allow you to use the scenery to damage enemies. So we will interfuse here with a bookshelf. We can see on hover over that we interfuse with it, and it gives us the wood ability of Splinter Blast. 2 damage, 1 shred, 1 pierce. Explode a wooden object in a shredding blast of splinters that damages the area. I could also target a different object, targeting, I don't know, this display case here. Bone Lance. 3 to 4 damage, 4 range, 1 pierce. Propel a long, cruel lance of bone to impale enemies. So depending on the kind of thing that we get, it'll change what it'll do. This cabinet has liquid, Scalding Rain, 3 to 4 magic damage, 2 shred and 4 range. Boiling liquid burns away armor and gnaws at the enemy's flesh. We can see that the Rager here has 1 armor. 1 armor filled in and 1 armor not filled in. I don't know exactly what that's representing, but I will get the cabinet to do some Scalding Rain at you. 4 damage and shred 1 armor off of him. The Rager seems keen to make an approach here, and yet it won't be enough. I'm going to kill you with a book. The barrage of this book will have tools torn into a deadly whirl, rending targets in a nearby area with their tooly teeth. Or it can be dodged. That's fine too. I guess that's fine. Oh, interesting. So I'm continually interfused with this one, but not with the other one. Oh no, because I destroyed the new one. Wait, can I interfuse with multiple things at the same time? I didn't think I could. I guess I must be able to, because I did. So that would make sense. Okay, Splinter Blast. Get him. Got him good. Victory, silly. Silly is now a greenhorn mystic. As a mystic, Silly has acquired a knack for interfusing his spirit with earthly things, drawing on these bonds to enact formidable magics. We can see Vigor Flow as a passive. For each interfused object, Silly's physical attacks gain +2 damage. Interfused objects take 1 damage whenever a physical attack is used. I like the idea of that. Just interfuse yourself with a bunch of objects and then run up. Like, you kind of like Fantasia take control of all of the objects in the room and they're dancing around the enemy. The enemy is standing in the middle of them with these imposing figures, these tall boys, these bookshelves, these shelves of multiple different varieties, these cabinets, these escritoires, just all surrounding, enveloping the enemy. They're terrified. Is that going to splinter blast me? Is that going to bone lance me? Is that going to have a book fall out from the top and I'm going to look up and see the book just in time for the corner of the book exactly on the spine to just jut me in the eye, and that's going to hurt a little bit, right? And then, from this whirlwind of furniture, emerges Silly with a spoon and bonks you on the head for lethal damage. Soul splitting. When Silly takes damage, for each interfused object, 1 point is prevented and the object takes 2 damage instead, or we can have open mind, Silly can interfuse with 1 additional target. So, here's my thinking. Both of these get better when you have more things you can interfuse with, so let's interfuse with additional targets. Savvy? Speed, yeah, look, I might as well go on Silly there, certainly. More monsters roam the ruined halls and rattle the rotting furniture. But Silly moves quietly, sensing his way in the dark. Daylight lands on his wrist. Cool wind soothes his tired eyes. I'm still allowed to live. He closes the tower door, gentle, to make no noise. That was the Mystics art that I just did, right, Tower? Where did I get it from? Could it have just happened? Is this just one of those things? Is this just one of those things? Yeah, it has to. Things a man's born with that might blossom in his life when he needs them. Suddenly, I could listen to the bookcase, talk to the flame. I could feel the sweetness in that onion plant. Silly. I don't suppose I can get folks to call me a wizard. Silly, you're right there. Hey, Silly, something happened? Yeah. I forgot you two were coming. I'm sorry. I just had the weirdest night and day, and Eloise saved my life. We barely made it out of there. Yeah, you see that smoke on the horizon? That's from the town. Yeah, it's Lindebrand. It burned? Things are different than they were. Yeah, well, I don't know if I've ever seen something quite like this. A monster? Sure we have. We slay monsters? Well, I'm a wizard. You're a wizard, Silly. Hey, Raps, can you say, oh, hey, Mark, in that silly voice? Sure. Oh, hey, Mark. Unfortunately, like, the cadence, oh, hi, Mark, doesn't really, like, fit into the Trant Heidelstamm voice. Sites, you've discovered a new site. It's still under enemy control, though. Click on the banner to assault it. We shall do so. And assault it with all of our might. Feel the Sweetness is a dope band name. You're not wrong. It could be a band name, it could be an album name, or it could be a song name. It is a triple threat. I feel like I feel like I do belong in the forest. And I'm sure Kamaru won't mind the view. A perfect understanding isn't likely to emerge. What these beasts are, where they came from, what drove them to attack the town of Lindebrand. But letting them nest here feels like the wrong idea. What? I'm not wrong, am I? Anyway, a plan. Do we have one? Back at my house, it was pretty simple. Kill the beast before it kills you. I just came out of there. If we're methodical, patient, we can fend them off at least. Now, I think Silly is goofy in this, right? Starting to get an electrostatic whine in one of these ears. Dang. I think Silly is goofy in this, so that wouldn't really make sense to suddenly become a stoic. But it would make sense for Kamaru to be courageous here, I think. Would it? I don't know. Maybe Kamaru's cowardly. Let me look at that character sheets for a second. You're decisive. Okay, decisive and courageous makes sense. Goofish, yeah, goofish doesn't really make that much sense with. Okay, we'll go courage. The silly is about to fall over, so I'll catch the VOD tomorrow. Have a good one. Sleep well, silly. Combat modifiers. Courage. All heroes get +2 damage/potency for 3 turns. We get a raccoon and a roe that we have to fight, scrambling through shadows. Its barbed appendages eagerly twitch. And the roe still throws those hooves around sloppily. We can see our action point breakdown here. Every hero starts out with 2 action points per turn. Different abilities have different costs. A filled in with orange diamond is a single action that ends your turn. Requires an action point, but it will end your turn. A single action will just cost a single action point, and that is a filled in solid color diamond. And then a non-filled in diamond is a swift action, which is free once per turn. When a swift action is used, use all of the hero's next swift actions as single actions. And a free action just costs no action points, doesn't have a symbol for it. Okay. Kimaru. I mean, you might as well set up Invis right now, right? Now, right? Now, right? Right now, right? You go there. Let's get Silly up here, ready to interfuse with something. And then we'll get Eloise up towards the door. You can set up Sentinel this round just in case. Wait, and then pass. Okay, Eloise, pop that door open. Ooh. The raccoon is ranged, but yeah, Kamaru can kill it. So is this a 100% chance to hit? Above my head, it says 100%. No, it's 100% to remove my hidden condition. But 79% chance to just kill the raccoon. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Statue could make a discus for 6 damage. That's actually pretty good as well. Silly. Interfuse with that. Discuss something with that row. An effective discussion. We get some stats, some experience from all our characters. I don't know why the tiebreak gave 10 experience and gave 1 extra to Silly rather than the rest of them. Shield an offhand to take 1 less damage from non-flanking attacks. Eloise? Yes? There's also a Wolf Heart knee pad, which augments health. Eloise again? The last misshapen creature folds its bones and dies. Blue fluids darken the dust. Calmly into death. There's dignity in that. You make it sadder when you see that. Hey, look at us. Look at what we did. Yeah? Day drops. Day rises. Dusk is sweet. The sunrise sweeter. It's not long before they've cleaned up the old tower a bit. I've always liked its weird stairs and stones. And it did save me. I always knew this morning would rise, when I'd gaze into the sky and see a destiny for myself. A destiny to inspire song. Let's not wait to be overrun, though. We're a company of heroes now. We'll walk the land and we'll fight. People need us. We'll give ourselves a name. And make sure it's one they'll sing. Sounds like you've thought about this. We'll be called Grand's Warriors. Well, how about Willick's Rivals? Maybe the Younglings of the Chalice? Those all suck. We're gonna go for enter your own name. Those are all trash. Name the company. What shall we name the company? Let's see some of the randoms. Panther's Fate, the Greenlings of the Unwritten Story, the Minnows of the Candle, the Walkers of Topaz Freedom, the Lion League. Oh, that's too good. That's too good not to use. Sweetrun's suggestion here, the Rapscallions. After that, the three of them are inseparable. Rumors are rampant, heroes are needed. This world will be flooded in sorrows, but its defenders are joined by a fire that night.
Here follows the tales of the Rapscallions. Be remembered.
Calamities. We have increased the damage of these raccoon enemies. They are stronger by 1 damage. We cannot cancel that. We collect our Calamity. We'll be collecting more of these over time as they will modify the monsters that we have fought, as well as incentivize us to move slightly faster, because over enough period of time here on the main screen, we can see spending enough days will draw another Calamity card. 166 days gets 1 more Calamity card up here. Get legacy points by taking new sites. You can spend legacy points to do the following things. You can recruit heroes, you can build new stations, and you can cancel calamities. It's worth noting, there are other things you can do with them as well, specifically in certain events, it appears. We don't necessarily have any of those reasons to do with it just yet, but it gives you those options. Securing sites. Once a site is free of enemy control, you can have some time to secure it. Secured sites provide resources now and at the end of each chapter, which you can use to craft gear at a town or between chapters. So I'm going to dismiss that and then secure this town, selecting everyone to do so. They'll be grateful for the work that we do. Securing Anka Boast. This site will now provide resources now and at the end of the chapter. Spend resources to upgrade heroes' weapons and armor. Yep. Investigate thoroughly and catalog everything to find an item, or burn what's not useful, get it in ship shape. I'm just gonna be finding items constantly here. I think that's probably a relatively good thing to do at the early where you know, we don't have any items in all the slots. Silly is also a mystic, and as a result is going to be doing 2 times the labor of the other characters on this one. So a good character to have trying to do this. The Spoon Lords just have to get the other spoons as well. I could see it. I could certainly see it. Just scooping up all the enemies. A thorough delving through the mysteries of the Argabost has proven rewarding. Perhaps one day, they'll tell our story in this very spot. Your voice has suddenly moved more towards Silly's. Argabost will return to the hands of the common folk while they tend to it. The site will provide resources at the end of each chapter. Hinds 1, Ingot 1, and Spell Thread 1 at the moment. We also get a Crow Feather Ring. Warding of 0.8. So warding is your ability to withstand magical damage, I believe. Yeah, amount of damage reduced from each incoming magical attack. That makes the most sense to go on the target that's going to be in the front line, again, in Eloise. Gear is permanently claimed. Okay. So, we can see, Chapter 1, clear all hostile sites and scout the Quiet Roost Dream. It is worth noting, mountains are impossible up in that area. It's worth noting that I have to clear all of the other hostile sites in these areas that we have not yet scouted as well. So, mountains are impossible there as well. The fact that the Rib Field could have some hostile site in it means that I have to go up before I go down, lest I go down, clear this entire area, and then go back up here, you know? Let's go scout this. Scouting is 3 times faster in its labor with a hunter. Wait. I could also just go to Lindebrand and pick up a new party member. 1, 2, 3. I like that more, because then the party member is going to assist me in scouting faster and traveling faster as well. Possibly traveling faster, really. Send a hero to this town to craft or upgrade an item. No. Prepare defense against an enemy incursion. We'll see what incursions are later. Let's go recruit. Send them all over there.